Well, how do you feel like the team did that? We'll start with there.
I mean, number one, I'm glad we won. I'm glad they got the reward of all those weeks of heat and practice, and you need a reward. Football's really, really hard, and I talk about that with them all the time. But you've got to do the things you've got to do in practice to be able to win games. And I thought we did enough of those, obviously, to put up a good performance on offense. And defensively, it's one of those things where you're playing Navy. You're playing those teams that nobody wants, the old Georgia Tech, when nobody wants to play that option-type offense because you see it once a year. It's hard to prepare for, the assignment football. And, and St. Andrews did a good job running it. So all in all, we got the win. I'm happy about that. I'm glad to get something on film to show our guys in the game that we can fix, that we can use to get better. Because, the process is more what I'm concerned about than the result. I'm glad we won. But if we fix everything that we can fix and make a different mistake next week, that's how you get to be better as a team, and that's what we're looking to do.
Coach, you recovered your first onside kick, but after that you kind of had to struggle a little bit going 1 for 10. What's kind of like your plan to improve your onside kick recovery chances as you play Fort Lauderdale next week?
Well, I'm going to add some more onside kicks. I only had 3 in. We've got some different ones, and we'll do some different things with directional kicking to softer spots. But, it's just going to take – it's like anything. If we went out and played basketball for a month and had never played basketball before, you're not going to be a very good shooter. But as you kick the ball more, as you shoot the basketball more and more and more, you're going to get better and better at it. So we'll get better at it. I mean, some of the kicks, we just didn't do a very good job with the kicks themselves, and we got to give ourselves a chance. But at the same time, I'll introduce a few more kicks. These guys will keep working on them, and we'll get better at them.
You kind of put this all together, I guess, in 4 weeks or so?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see half my guys till August the 6th.
So what was your biggest concern, I guess, coming into today, and did they ease those concerns?
That's a good question. I don't know if y'all thought we do, but we do a lot of things on offense. And I was really worried that in that amount of time, that in 25 NCAA practices, that we could put all that stuff in and be able to do it effectively with minimal mistakes on the field. And the good thing is it's designed to be so much because you can still make mistakes and be successful, because if you give them more things to look at on defense, then they're going to make more mistakes too. So even if you make some, it still counteracts and you've got a chance to be successful. So I was really worried that we would be able to do all the things that we did out here and do them efficiently and effectively. And we did a lot better in that area than I thought we would. And we reduced, you don't want to do a lot of penalties and stuff. We reduced those from the scrimmages and stuff like that. That's to be expected by playing more. But I was really impressed on both sides of the ball that we could call a lot of different things and line up and run those things effectively.
What were you like before the game? I mean, were there butterflies? Were you nervous a little bit? Or?
I was disappointed. I mean, you and I are older, and at my age, I look for reasons to get an adrenaline rush. And I really hoped I would have one, and I kind of didn't. I got a little bit excited, probably 15 minutes before the game, and I really was wanting one. At my age, I ride roller coasters, and I want to jump off stuff to get that rush, and I was really hoping for one. So, but I didn't really want one because I think it's harder to think and process and things, and I've got to think while I'm calling plays. So, that all said, it was still fun. I really got emotional after the game. I stood up in front of the team. Were you in there? I stood up in front of the team. I just started tearing up, and because I was really proud. It was throw 134 guys together, and August the 6th you get 110 of them. Then you add some more on August the 18th or 20th or whatever it was, and it's hard to get everybody to come together, and you're bringing in a different culture, a different offense, a different defense. More than half the coaches are brand new, and to get everybody to buy in is really, really difficult. And I was just so proud in there that we got that. It wasn't butterfly I wanted, but it was emotional. And, at my age, you look for reasons to be so happy that it tears you up. And that's what I was. I was just really happy that a group of guys came together, because I say this everywhere, and I'll say it to y'all can print it or not print it. Football's the greatest thing in the world, in my opinion, especially right now, because it's the one thing that brings people together of every political divide, every racial divide, every COVID side divide, every religious divide. You bring them together in a stadium, or you bring them together on a team, and we're all fighting for the exact same thing, and nobody cares about any of that crap. And so, I think of that stuff. And we've got a young man that transferred in that is 25 years old, and he was in the military, Austin Polson. That means something. My grandfather was in the military. My wife's father, who passed away recently, was a Marine, and he was defending nukes in South Korea not too long ago, and now he's playing football for us. So those things all matter. I want these kids, because we've only got like 7 seniors out of 134 kids, I want these kids to understand what life is and learn the life lessons that I think football's about. And today was a great chance in my pregame speech to say, guys, you know, be thankful that you're a part of something. And right now, it doesn't matter anything that's going on in the world, anything you believe in, because right now we believe the same thing, that we're a football team that's going out there and trying to win, and we're coming together, and people in the stands doing the same thing.
You mentioned when we talked Monday that, you know, this game was important from a buy-in factor from the guys and, you know, people watching. Do you feel like you made the point?
I don't think I was trying to make a point. I was just wanting it to happen so people would have a reason to buy in, another reason. You know, some people were excited about something different coming, but I don't think they were sure that it was going to be any good. And so that said, what I wanted them to do is give them a reason to think, okay, that might be good. Now maybe I want to buy into that. Maybe I want to come watch it. Maybe I want to watch on TV. Maybe I want to show some sport some way. But you got to give them something. You know, it's one thing to go, there's a nice new shiny car. But it's another thing to open the doors up, let them drive it around and go, okay, this has got some nice features on it too. And it doesn't matter if you turn the car on and it doesn't start, or it doesn't work, or the tires go flat. And I know that's a weird analogy, but that's what you worry about. When we come out here and it just wouldn't work. We couldn't put all those things together because we didn't have enough time to put them in. And so you know, I wasn't trying to make a point, but I think the guys played hard enough and the coaches did a good enough job to give people something to buy into, and definitely wanted the boys to be able to have something. I say boys, some people say men, but figure out paying their own bills, I don't know, you know. But it gave the guys something to buy into as well, and be able to look and go, wait, if we go out there and practice every day, you know, some of this stuff's really good out there on the field. And then they'll go out next Monday and start all over and practice a little harder and try to even listen a little bit more, because there were still some coach, here's the way I've always done it in high school and college. You know, and I'm like, guys, I know what, now we're going to do it this way. But they've never seen that way work. And so now they've seen it work. It's a lot easier to get them to buy into it and practice it that way and practice it a little harder.
How you mixed in Ren and Tyler, and obviously you had them both on the field today, and Tyler caught a touchdown pass. What is that?
Threw a touchdown pass.
Threw a touchdown pass. How has that dynamic been like? Have you had that kind of, like, using 2 quarterbacks at once?
Yeah, I've done it my whole career, basically. I've always played, you know, 2 quarterbacks and done different things with them. Tyler's a football player and athlete. You know, Ren obviously had a pretty nice game today. I think he had like 10 touchdowns, 500-something yards, 576 yards.
Yes.
Because we had one run. We had one shovel pass that ended up being a run. But you know, he had played my system before. He had advantage over Tyler coming into the camp. And you know, if it had been another way around, you know, Tyler might have been the quarterback. But Ren's just had me for 5 years, so he knows what I want, knows the offense, and he was ahead of the game. But in the end, it doesn't matter what the advantage was. You know, I mean, if me and LeBron James go compete for the guard for the Lakers, I mean, he's got an advantage, but they shouldn't not pick him just because he had that. Well, in the end, I saw Tyler, what he did last year, and I saw what he could do in practice, and I'm like, he's a kid that's going to help us win games. He can catch it, he can run it, he can throw it, and it's just one more of those things I talked about, doing a million things on offense so the defense will make some more mistakes. And what do you do when he's back there? You got to play the run because he's a good runner. You got to play the pass because we can hand it to him and he's got run-pass option. And by the way, if we threw a drop-back pass and shoot him out in the flats, you better cover him because he did what he did today. You can throw it to him, make a couple cuts, and get it in the end zone. So he just gives us one more weapon. But I like to think of myself, I mean, the last 15 of the last 16 years in high school, I think we were in the top 10 in offense. I think there's 16,000 high schools. We're in the top 10, 15 of the last 16 years. The only thing I'm really good at in the world, I try to be a good husband, but I'm not a great one. I'm hard to live with. You know, I can't do anything around the house, but I'm pretty good on offense and pretty creative. Give me a guy like Tyler and give me, you know, something else, just another exponential way to do something on offense. And I think I'm decent at that. And I think it just makes it something else defenses have to prepare for all week.
Jalen mentioned that he scored 86 points in high school with you, so you're not unfamiliar with this type of game. But how much did you ever anticipate scoring 84 in your first college game?
No, I didn't think we would do that, to be honest with you. I always thought, though, I mean, we've averaged over 50 points a game. We've averaged, but the clock runs in the second half if we
Right.
beat somebody bad. So I always look and see what we've done in the first half. So in the first half of games for my last, I think, 16 years, we've averaged 37 points a game in the first half. So that's a lofty number. And I always thought, well, those are 12-minute quarters. What would it be like if I ever had a 15-minute quarter? 4 of those things. And, you know, with the short fields and more possessions and those kinds of things, you saw that. I mean, it isn't always going to be this way, and maybe we'll go out and score 0. And that hadn't happened a whole lot. But you know, I think our games are usually higher scoring games. And give credit to St. Andrews. They kept scoring where we had to keep our guys in and keep scoring too, because you look up and you're like, third quarter, you know, we're up 22 or 21. That's not doable. You go score an onside kick, and they were practicing those before the game. You go score, it's 14, onside kick away from a one-score game. So they kept making us have to score. And then at the end, I mean, we obviously didn't score. We could have had a chance to score 90, but that was not the issue. It was, let's just run the ball up the middle and do our thing. But as long as the game's in jeopardy, we're going to keep doing what we do and try to score. We're not going to bomb you to death, but we're going to try to control the ball and move it down. And so I didn't anticipate that many points, I'll be honest with you. But I did know that you had another quarter, because we had another 12 minutes. You know, I thought it could be, I was hoping I'd be a good play caller in college too.
Hey, Coach, a little bit of a silly question, but as the game went on, were you going through your mind and thinking, like, were you trying to aim to 100 points?
No, I was never trying to aim towards 100 points. Now, if they had kept scoring, I would have kept trying to score, and who knows what happens. But no, I don't think, you know, you want all the honest truth. This is the honest to goodness truth. I'm so transparent. I mean, I'm just bluntly honest. Every single game of my career, the number one thing I worry about is getting shut out. I am terrified before we walk out there and until we score. Now, once we score, I'm relaxed. I'm like, okay, got that out of the way. I'm terrified because I got shut out in 2005. And I was so miserable. I mean, I would just felt like I had failed miserably. I mean, you know, I've got all those times and quarters and plays and kids and it's human chess out there, and somebody just beat me to death. It would be like I got beat at chess at 5 moves, you know, and you're like, what happened? I mean, just lost that. So that all said, no, I'm the opposite. I never think about scoring 100. I'm terrified we're getting shut out.
Did they? And so much has happened since then, but they took a knee and an automatic delay. Did you know why they did that?
We didn't accept the delay either. I don't know if you noticed that.
Right.
We declined it. They've been doing that for a couple years, where you know he's got guys that want to do something for social justice reform, you know, a stand for that. And I told him, I said, you know, and he called me and told me you're going to do it. And he said, you can take the penalty. I said, do people take it? And he goes, yeah, a lot of times. And I said, we won't do that. I mean, I'm going to take a penalty that you don't deserve, and you're doing that. And but that said, you know, I it's difference in beliefs, and I believe with his kids he can do what he wants, and with my guys, I personally don't believe necessarily the football field is the platform for those things. I mean, I believe in some of the things that people are doing, obviously, and I told our guys, I'll help you with anything you want that I believe in too. I'll go out there and work with you. And but on the football field, I just want it to be football. Like we talked about, it's the place everybody comes to get away from things. I think we come together. And so I don't want there to be a divide or a whatever. I just want football to be football and us coming together as a group of guys trying to beat the other team.
Yeah. You have a very unique, you know, philosophy of coaching, you know, style of coaching, and then you go out and you score 84 points today. You know, I guess just what does that mean for your style? And do you think more people are going to, you know, maybe try to emulate it at some point?
You know, I don't know. Slowly but surely, we started going for it on fourth down back in 2003 before Moneyball was a thing, before analytics was even known. The word was not even known in sports. And over time, it seems like more people slowly but surely are going for it on fourth down. I don't know. That's not what I'm trying to do. I don't want anybody to do it because we have an advantage, in my opinion. So I don't want people to do that. But in the end, if it happens, it happens. And see you, Xavier. If it happens, it happens. But again, I hope it happens slowly because I'm getting old. So maybe it'll start when I'm out of the game and don't have an advantage anymore.
What percentage of the playbook? What percentage of the playbook you show today?
That's a tough question. I don't know. I mean, we kept a lot of things that we didn't have to do. I mean, we have a laundry list of. I mean, there's a lot of stuff on here. Those are 3 plays on each line. That's 3 plays on each line. I mean, it's a lot of stuff. So, I mean, I always think Sun Tzu's Art of War. I really like that kind of stuff. And he says those that do few things must prepare for the enemy. Those that do many things, the enemy must prepare for you. I would rather do a million things and fix us than worry about, you've got to know what front they're going to be in, what coverage. But if you do enough stuff, I think it makes it really tough. You dictate what happens on the field rather than react. And if I was on the defensive side of the ball, it'd be a little different maybe, but on this side of the ball, and I get it. There's some, Wisconsin can line up and run the power and do it well. They run 5 plays and run them better than everybody else, and they'll be successful year in, year out. I don't know that a non-scholarship school, and I know the school I was at in high school, can't line up and run the power and be successful and do those things. So I think that's one reason they got me here, and was because they saw we were winning with smaller guys against bigger guys all over the country. But I think that's part of it.
You guys good?
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay.